Welcome to Project Play. Hi, I'm Kaye England with Wilmington Prints, and in this video, we have two fabulous flag projects to share with you, and in two color options as well. Any skill level is going to have success here. We're going to polish your skills on doing diagonal sets, and we are going to get those flags waving. Let those flags fly. Okay, now let's take a look at the recipe that comes with our red, white, and two. And I'm sure you figured out by now that that two references, we have two projects in one. So you're getting a simple flag, which is just the stripes. We're using the red, white, and blue. Each one of these, you have a choice now in which color family you use. It's all red, white, and blue, but as you can tell, one of them will use the All-American red, white, and blue, the strip packs, and that's our 2.5-inch pre-cuts, and it is the white against the red and blue. And then our Old Glory is the cream against the red and blue. The zigzag flag uses another blue. It could be anything you chose it to be. One of them uses a softer blue, and that's kind of referencing the sky, and then the other uses a little bit stronger blue. That's an arbitrary color, and depending on where you pick up your fabrics, you may say, gee, I think I want something with stars in it. So that is one of the things that you can make up the decision on your own, but your strip cuts, your pre-packed strip cuts, are your go-to on both of these packages. And as we take a look at the simple quilt, which is just your stripes, that is made up of nothing but blue forming the upper left-hand corner of the flag, and that's just using X number of sizes from X number of strips, and then you'll build those short blues, and then your red and whites. You have two choices in the, well, maybe more than two. You can decide to put the red and white or red and cream together first, then all the blues, and then sew them. This one I thought I'd just see if it made any difference. So I sewed a red to a blue, a cream to a blue, red to blue, la, 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 la. And you can see from the way that I've pressed the seams, and that's where I think it's of value to you to see some of these not quilted, because it gives you a chance to say seam direction is always an issue for a lot of people. That it's like, I don't know which way to press it. So when I pressed this, I went blue to red, white to blue, blue to red, white to blue. Now, once I sewed the whole long rows back together, I just made a decision to send all the seams one way. You could have come this way or you could go that way. If you had sewn each one of this side together and then this side together, then that would be a straight seam that would flip right or left. I just think it's important to know that you have more than one way to get a job done. Use the one, regardless of what a pattern might say, sew it this way. Be aware of the fact that depending on your setup with your machine, your light, and all of those things, one might be of more value to you than the other. On my long strips, the only thing I did was just continue to sew left, right, left, right. I did send them all one way. It just seemed to make it a little bit easier for me. So that's a pretty easy slam dunk quilt to get done. Okay, now let's take a look at the zigzag flag, and I just laid out my swatches to show you that in some cases I'm red and white, and in some cases I'm going to be red and cream, depending on whether you used the All-American or whether you used Old Glory. Your pattern is going to ask you to cut X number of rectangles, and you will be sewing some red and whites, then you'll be sewing two different blues, then you'll also be sewing some blue and white, and even when you get down to the bottom where the sky, if you will, is showing, you will actually be sewing that secondary color you choose. You will have cut some rectangles of that as well. As far as complex sewing, my friends, that's it. You're just going to be making a batch of rectangles. Your pattern will also ask you to cut X number of your secondary color. Now that to me is the sky color that your flag is living in, and you can call it anything you'd like, but it's that secondary color. What you have to have is the little quarter square triangle that sets in the sides, and that's got the straight of grain on the outside and the bias is on the inside. It's called a quarter square triangle because we get 4 of them out of a square. So there are other ways to cut this with specialty rulers and dies if you work that way. But in this case, your pattern is asking you to take this square. Now, I don't really need a ruler because I'm not going to use this, but I would want a ruler that would fit this size, but I just really need to cut it in half that way and then in half that way. And of course, then I need a rotary cutter that was working. I just grabbed this one, and then there's my unit without its little pulls in it. But you know, that's the fun thing about videoing. You really want to be careful once you get these little fellows cut, because this is bias, and don't jink around with this any more than you have to. Try to be real patient when you're working with it. Let's just look how many different configurations you have of these elements. That's probably the only thing that could be a little confusing to you is, how many of these do I have? Well, your pattern is explicit in telling you that you need so many where you put red to cream or white. Then you need so many where you put your secondary color on your diagonal set to red. Then you're also going to have blue and cream. And then you're also going to have loads of blue to blue. Now, the interesting thing, when I made the first one, I got all caught up into which pattern touched which pattern. And I spent way more time than I needed to. And in this one, I thought, I'm just going to throw them in a stack, pick them up, and sew them and see what happens. I'm telling you, I cannot tell the difference. But if you are one who likes to control your pattern better, then you might say, I'm going to isolate these and do X number to X number. That's always how you're built, and I don't have any control over that. But I found this one was almost a little more freeing, and I found it went way fast. Now, the only other thing that if you are a new sewer, you might have never dealt with a diagonal set. You'll typically start sewing, and I don't ever include that one corner. I do it in rows, and these rows are always sewn in a diagonal fashion. So you will need to have made all of your little rectangle units so that I then go to the wall or the top of your bed or wherever you work. I'm going to have a background square, 2 blue background side set, on throughout the quilt. Now for grins, let me just turn this over. Now I can show you a picture on screen of what it looks like before I've sewn, but what I can't show you is how the seams go. And that's an advantage for not having this quilt quilted. Because row 1, I made the decision to press some of the sides into the square. Then when the second row goes on to the first row, I just follow my seam pattern. If this one went in, this one had to go out. This one's in, this one's out. I just take this out because this doesn't have a seam in it, and this one has a little more weight in it. So I just stay consistent, if you can see from this, from the back side as I build. Let me make sure, because I want you to see this clearly. Do you see how I just keep going out, in, that? And this guy had already been predetermined when I pressed my set. This was predetermined. And what's really great about this pattern, these don't ever touch, so you end up with crisscross seams, so it really sews like a dream. It was so much easier for me then to go to my wall with, I had my whole stacks of elements, and I just did row 1 to row 2. Then I added 3 to 1 and 2. Then I added 4 to 1, 2, and 3. And as I build then, it really is, it's just more work to keep all of these organized and your colors laid out. So it's that little unit that I just cut, and I had previously cut one. And see, if it had been with its seam allowance, it would have been sitting right there. But right now, if I set it here, you can see I've got seam allowance around it. So I have one that goes there and one that goes there. Let's turn them upside down, and then that'll make them a little bit easier for you to see. So this is my row 1. I never put regardless of what a pattern tells me, and even if I was to write it and say that, I would never put this corner on until last. I really feel like that this is a wonderful opportunity for you to learn how to do a diagonal set in the event that you have not had this cross your path, because it's so easy to control, and then the way the pattern asks you to lay out to get this zigzag can be a little tricky. So just follow the project sheet as it tells you to lay out X number of these in the row, and you'll quickly know before you sew it whether they're right, because you've got to have the movement of this zigzag going across it, or you won't get your waving look. This project does not have a border after you finish your diagonal set. So you're going to need to trim nice and clean, leaving 1/4 inch around it, and then your binding will actually be the last step you make. And what I really think is fun about this, you can use a solid color. You can mix, as I did, all of my leftover blues together. You could throw reds in there. I mean, the binding can be as scrappy as you like, or it could even be the same color as whatever your secondary background was. Once you get that on it, then you finish your top. So I just think it's an easy, fun project to do. You get 2 for 1 because you can get all of this out of your strip pack. I would say let those flags wave. Have a great time making red, white, and 2, or red, white, and 4, or how many ever. We look forward to seeing you on a future video. Have a great time playing with your flags. Bye-bye.